So while recording this upcoming video here showing how I test PlayStation 3 games, I forgot to unmute the microphone on my laptop. So I'm just creating this quick little intro. This video is showing how I use my modified Sony PlayStation 3 using a firmware called HEN and a program called MCMon. It allows me to create ISO images of the discs I put into the system, which allows me to ensure that disc can be read from the start all the way to the finish with no issues. And the benefit of doing this versus say just putting the game into the PlayStation and playing the game itself, I don't have the time to play every single game from start to finish, but at least doing this rip test I can ensure the disc can be read from start to finish. Unlike a lot of other YouTubers who I'm not going to name specifically, they know who they are, where they literally just take the disc, put it into a console, play the game for maybe a minute or two and then call it tested. That's not being tested. Like, sure, you might be able to start the game, play for a few minutes, but you know what happens when you're like halfway through the disc? Is it still going to work? Well, at least this way with the games that I test, I can ensure that the game should have zero issues with reading or playing through the entire game. Anyway, sit back, watch how I rip test the game. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So in this video you saw, or I gave an idea of how I rip test every single PlayStation 3 video game that I sell on eBay. Whether it's like a disc only game, complete in box, or with case no manual, or disc only, it's like I list them all as acceptable condition. And the reason I list them all as acceptable condition is because if I pull up this page here, which you can easily find on eBay, their definitions for brand new, like new, very good, good, acceptable, and so forth are different than my definitions for those condition statements. So I always list my items generally as acceptable condition. That way, you know, like it's better to protect myself. Like did you know, like if you list an item as very good and it doesn't have a manual, a buyer can say not as described. So like that's why I list it all as acceptable. It's like I state in the condition, like in the description of all my listings, that the discs have been tested, but they may contain minor scratches, smudges, fingerprints, cracked or damaged cases, wire damage on the manual and slip covers and inserts. I have a blanket statement for like all my video games so that there's no difference between any of them. Pretty much they're all the same, and I let the pictures of the listing sell the item, because let's face it, nobody reads the descriptions anymore. Everybody looks at the pictures, and the very few people that actually look at the descriptions and actually read the descriptions, let alone watch a YouTube video that I have embedded into the description, is very few and far between. But in order to just better protect myself and the items I'm selling, I list everything as acceptable condition, but I put the work in to make sure that all these discs get rip tested, polished when possible. I try to, modify the listing slightly to include, like, does it have a manual, does it have a case, is it disc only, and so forth. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you're all healthy and safe. Anyway, I'm going to end it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a shout on eBay, Facebook, here on YouTube. about how I test games. Obviously, I'm not going to go into details, specifically how I modified my PlayStation 3. There are hundreds of videos on YouTube already to how to do that, as well as tons of walkthroughs on various other websites. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.